Hey everyone, I'm Erin. Welcome to the Cardboard Republic. Happy 4th of July or 4th of July week for those of us in the States. Happy Canada Day for those of you in Canada. We are going to get right into a haul video, recapping some of the games that we got in during the month of June. Starting off with Skyward. This is a really cute little game. It's card drafting and pretty competitive. You are basically in charge of managing a city with your fellow players. Every round, new cards, new facilities for the city are dealt out, and the warden, the person in charge of the city, gets to kind of manage how resources are allocated. Now, I don't know if that means they get to control something about the drafting aspect of it, or if they get to control more about what's out in play. I haven't played it yet. I don't know. I am intrigued because I love card drafting, but this seems like it could be a little more cutthroat than what I'm normally going for in a relatively small game. The art kind of has me willing to try it though. Art can really make or break a game. Speaking of art, look at this. It is beautiful. This is the new cover for Exoplanets. This is a game about building a planetary system. It's kind of a light resource management thing. You are playing these planet tiles and using the resources that they generate to create life on those planets, which is kind of cool. I personally haven't played this one yet, but Ryan has. I know that he likes it. I'm excited to try it, even though it seems a little more abstract than my comfort zone. But still, like I said before, the art. And if you want to stay in space, you have Solarz. This is another resource management game, but instead of building a planetary system, you are trying to control the energy generation of these solar satellites, basically. They're Solarz, that's where it all comes from. So you have these satellites that are orbiting the sun. They're full of solar panels. You're managing the resources to try to get that power to Earth, I believe. Honestly, the theme probably doesn't matter a whole lot with this one because it is super Eurogamey. Like, part of the back of the box is in German, Eurogamey. So it's going to be way more about moving your cubes from one spot to the other than it is about what exactly those cubes represent, but I'm into that. It's fine. Hop! Okay. So this is a really cute game that I don't entirely understand. You've discovered some sort of mystical force. There are rainbows involved. You're jumping a lot and trying to go higher and faster than anyone else. And you have these cool little character minis. I don't know if you can see that right there. This game was not picked out by us. This is a game that I won at an event at Origins, and I wasn't actually there when I won it. So my friend Nicole, that I'm on a Great Way Games podcast with, she just grabbed something for me, and she grabbed Hop. And so she grabbed it because it was cute. She grabbed Hop because it was cute, and that's fine. That's a totally legit reason to grab a game for me. But then we brought this back from Origins, and we're gonna try it, and it's really heavy. So I'm gonna put it down now, but that's Hop. This game was all me though. The Stroop Effect is like a neuroscience, psychology little test that you give people where they're presented with a word, but that word is written in a certain color, and they have to say whatever the color is without reading the word. Some variations have them say the word without reading the color. This is a game based entirely on that phenomenon. So there are a ton of cards in the game that have different words written on them. The words are written in different types of font, different colors, different sizes, etc. And players have to usually play a card that describes the card in the center of the game. So it gets really, really brain burnery as you keep playing and you're trying to go faster. It's all simultaneous. You're trying to beat out everyone, and the requirements keep changing because as soon as you play a card, it becomes the card in the center that you're trying to match. And then when that round is over, you redeal out all the cards and it's the opposite where you're trying to describe it. It just gets It's a lot. I did lead a game at Origins. I, taught it and watched people play, and it was so intense. I loved it. So this is actually one I'm gonna bring into work with me because I want to see my psych colleagues try to play it, since we make our participants do it. And yeah, that's true. Trickster is another game with fabulous art. So Trickster is a trick-taking game with the caveat that all of the cards in the game kind of have a special ability. They can do something that messes with the game. Every card in the game represents a different kind of trickster. So it is a trick-taking game where things are always changing, very fast-paced and confusing. I'm so bad at trick-taking games. I don't dislike them, I just have a really hard time wrapping my brain around what I'm supposed to be doing at any given moment. So this is going to be almost impossible for me to actually play successfully, but I want to try it anyway because it looks so cute and I like the little box. So The Lost Expedition is a game about an expedition to find El Dorado. The whole conceit of the game, though, is that everything that happens in the game is something that either did happen or easily could have happened to similar expeditions during the time period described. So you won't face anything in the game that is completely out of the realm of possibility. I also like that not all of the explorers in the game are just crusty old white dudes with incredible beards. I'm down for that. I know it's a little bit of a problematic theme. I do understand that, but something about just expeditions in general, I love that sense of adventure that they bring. So I'm always interested when a game can kind of take that problematic history and acknowledge it and still make a game that isn't as exploitative. I'm hopeful, based on what I've read in the rulebook for this, that The Lost Expedition can do that. I don't 100% know yet, but I am going to play it and try it and discover things. On the contrary, a theme that I am maybe not super into is 19th century logging. But you know what? That's what Lignum is about, and it does seem interesting. It's one of those games where you start with a very, very small amount of resources. I think it's like $5 and one worker. And your goal for the whole game is to build up your company as best as you can to become the most successful logger that ever logged. You are trying to do all that by taking actions and placing workers. The whole deal, though, is you need to optimize your production chain as best as you possibly can to save your resources, save your money, and kill some trees. Which is actually what this hobby is all about. Oh. Barren Park, while in some ways similar, there are trees, is much more my speed. This is a game about building a bear park where you get to build parks full of bears, which should be no parks. Actually, no parks should be full of bears. This is a horrible idea, but it's super, super fun to play. I actually did have a chance to play this one already, so when I'm talking here, I actually kind of am describing the game somewhat accurately. You have these tiles that have little squares on them, and a separate set of tiles that have different exhibits for bears that have rivers and etc, 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 all the things you would need to create a successful bear park. So you are putting down your tiles kind of patchwork style on top of your grid, trying to fill up the most space as you possibly can and to get the most points. It really does come down to being a very challenging spatial puzzle, at least the way that I play it. You can play it so that you don't necessarily fill up every square in your grid, but there's no challenge in that. And you know what? If you're gonna make a bear park, you need to cover all of your land. Finally, we have Lisboa, I saved this for last because it's really big and frankly quite heavy, and I'm gonna want to sit down after this. So Lisboa is a game about rebuilding Lisbon after a huge disaster in its history. It was actually created by a designer from Lisbon, so he wanted to commemorate his city and the great efforts that it went through to rebuild itself. And I think that's kind of cool. The game is all resource management. It is very heavy, not only just in half tier, but also in weight. It's a big game. It's really pretty though. I know Ryan is so excited for this, and I'm pretty excited too because it's been a while since I've gotten to play a big meaty game like this. So it's definitely gonna, I can't say we're gonna put it on the top of the pile because it would crush the rest of the pile, quite honestly, but it is going to be in the pile, strategically placed, probably in a weight-bearing position near the bottom. That was June for us. June encompassed Origins and just our normal getting games in as part of our website. So I hope that some of those piqued your interest. We're going to be playing them all pretty soon, and we will let you know what we think. We'd also love to know what games you're getting in over the course of the month because it really helps us figure out what our audience is playing and what they're interested in. Leave a comment below, or you can hit us up on Twitter or Facebook or wherever. Also make sure to subscribe to these videos and like it. We will be back really, really soon with more stuff for you. Bye. Don't have bears. Why would you have a bear park? Are there actually bear parks in Germany? Your town is planning a new bear park. Your town should not have the authority to create a bear park. Especially because there are polar bears as one of the exhibits, and I feel like that's just not really safe, one, and two, environmentally feasible and sustainable. Ha! At the end, will your park be the best or just bearable? They wrote that. That wasn't me. Okay, I'm done here. I need to stop talking about bear parks.